Welcome to the 𝗙𝗂𝗿 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗺 channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who does estate planning, focusing on long-term care needs, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. Today I wanted to talk to you about the different types of irrevocable trusts that we use in Medicaid planning. But before I do, I wanted to invite you to a free strategy session with me at eldermeeting.com. So many times I receive phone calls of people who tell me that they were told that they need an irrevocable trust so that way they or their loved one can qualify for Medicaid long-term care benefits. And many times they don't know exactly what type of trust that they need, other than they said it was supposed to be irrevocable and that this trust would solve all their problems and they'd be able to get benefits. What they don't realize is that there are three different types of irrevocable trusts that we use in the world of Medicaid planning here in Florida. And depending on what the problem is that you have, why you can't qualify or why you need this tool to be able to qualify, will determine which of the three types of trusts may be beneficial to you. And then sometimes none of them are, and they were just given bad advice. So I wanted to go over the different types of trusts and how we use them, and why they might be of benefit to somebody, and why they aren't going to be workable for other people. So the first trust is called a qualified income trust. This is an irrevocable trust that's used to help people who have excess income. So for Medicaid long-term care benefits, not only do you need to medically qualify for the benefits, you also need to financially qualify. And here in Florida, we have both income limits and asset limits. And so if you are over the income limit that's presently set in Florida, then you would need to have a qualified income trust, which serves as a irrevocable trust pass-through type account, where your excess income will be put into this trust bank account and then used to spend on medical needs that are not otherwise covered by Medicaid or towards your patient responsibility aspect of Medicaid. So this is an income trust. It only accepts income. It only solves problems for people who have excess income. Then there are two other types of irrevocable trusts that can handle excess assets. Again, these next two trusts, we don't really talk about income so much. We talk about assets that we put into this trust, because once you put the money in these trusts, you don't want to keep adding more money. So it's not a pass-through account like an income trust. These two types of trusts handle excess assets, and whether you use one or the other really depends on when do you need Medicaid benefits. Do you need them right now, or do you need them sometime in the future? So the one where you would use if you need benefits right now would be called a pooled trust. And this is also an irrevocable type of trust. It's called a pooled trust because your money is going to be pooled with other people who also have special needs and otherwise need to qualify for government assistance. The monies are going to be managed by a professional trustee. And the monies are all pooled together. Obviously, you get a little bank kind of accounting as to your money that's put into the trust, but essentially it's like in one communal bank account, even though everybody, you don't get to spend other people's money and other people don't get to spend your money, but the monies are all held together in one pooled trust. And so they're managed that way, and there's a management fee. It's handled by a professional trustee again, so it's not going to be somebody that you pick like a relative or your financial advisor or anything like that. It's going to be a pooled trustee management. And the benefit of this is that if you put money into this type of trust, it does not trigger a penalty when it comes to the Medicaid look-back period. And the reason why it doesn't trigger a penalty is because the terms of this trust says that if you pass away, whatever money is left in this pooled trust, Medicaid first gets reimbursed for the benefits that is provided to you. So the reason why Medicaid will look the other way in Florida and not make you have a penalty period for putting assets into this type of trust is because it knows that it has an opportunity to get paid back from the assets in this trust. So this is a tool that we use in what we call like crisis planning, or people who need benefits right away. If you are planning ahead because you know that dementia runs in your family, or you know that you have some other diagnosis where long-term care is probably in your future and you want to plan ahead, then you could create what most people think of when they think of an irrevocable trust. And it's referred to in many different ways, but commonly it's called like a Medicaid asset protection trust or some sort of asset protection trust. And this is an irrevocable trust that once you fund this trust, once you put money into this trust, that's when we start the clock as to 5 years. Right now there's a 5-year look back period in Florida. So any monies that were transferred would have a penalty. So we would want ideally to have funded this trust and not need benefits for the next 5 years, right? And so what we would do is we'd put the money in this trust. It could be run by a trustee that you pick, right? It could be a relative of yours. It could be your financial advisor. It could be your bank. It could be any other trusted person, but it's not going to be you. You'll have no control over this money other than the terms of the trust that you helped create, right? When you were the grantor funding this trust. But other than that, you're not in charge of this trust. You're not the trustee. It's not like a revocable living trust. It's irrevocable. Once the money's in, it doesn't really come out. And the moment that we fund it, we know that we start the clock on our 5-year look back period. So we don't want to fund it and then fund it again and then fund it again later on. You want to do like a one-time, put the money in, start the clock, and let it roll. So that way when you need benefits and we make the application, when they ask you on the application, have you made any sort of transfers in the past 5 years, you can say no, because it's outside of the 5 years, and that money then is in that trust and it's not counted as your asset and it's not considered a transfer within the past 5 years. And so many times people come to me needing benefits right away and they think that's the trust they want. And unfortunately for those folks, that's the trust they can't have, right? Not without a penalty. That really makes it not make sense at that point. So these are the 3 different types of trusts. I hope that it's been helpful to you. If this information has been, I ask that you like and share with others. And as always, thank you for joining me.